Okay, hey, welcome back. Wanted to have a look at this replay and playing RB, realistic battles, and the J2M3, which I was kind of inspired by some J2M5 replay and tips that Oxygen Thief had posted. So I had a game, it was kind of late, and I noticed that I love to shoot cats was sitting on the runway for quite a while. I couldn't quite figure out what was going on there. And I head this way because usually I like to side climb, number one. Number two, there's usually a lot of action over this like group of things. Over here there's usually tanks and such. And battles tend to be drugged down that way anyway. I tend to not like to climb out this way, even though usually the enemy likes to climb out over the sea. Though I don't have a whole lot of experience on Spain to begin with. Now, the J2M3 is a 5.3, and I've mainly only played it in simulator, but I've had a lot of luck with it in that mode, and I have it about half upgraded or so. I definitely have both the belts. It required two different sets of 20 millimeters to be researched. Um, it's been pretty interesting playing in that mode, and I haven't really been playing it in RB yet. Now, I really like the J2M2s, but those are my arcade days, so I think the first one I may have started with in RB, but I really liked them because they are kind of boom and zoomers, but like Oxygen the pointed out, they are actually pretty good at turning too. If you can turn it in the vertical and use the flaps, it will surprise you. And it's kind of like a yak in that yaks don't seem to turn well unless they're going a certain amount of speed, and they can kind of like they have a way of barrel rolling that lets them cut inside of their turning circle, and they can do a lot of good things. So I was kind of excited to take this one out, even though it was just for a game. Now, if you notice, I love to shoot cats. Isn't really climbing too much, but he is in a K4, so that does climb very well. But I'm already up here. I'm with the better of the climbers, so that's a good sign for this J2M3. I'm not using mech. I'd heard that it's better to use mech, but I don't know. I haven't really been too excited about mech lately, even though I got into it for a while. Like, it just seems like, excuse me, it seems like that mech is it provides slight advantages in certain situations, but I don't know. I guess I've been lazy about it. My first target here was Lim. I tend to always try to target the F82s early because they can really pick apart your team. And I turned more toward the inside because I didn't see any kind of activity out toward the right here. But I definitely wanted to target that F-82. And then the P-47 pops, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's definitely the way I want to go. So I turned a little bit more aggressive that way. But it was kind of interesting because Yuko and Ishak both, they kind of were playing, it looked like passively. Then the F-82 misses the boom on our A7M. I thought for sure that they were going to have it, but as you'll see, it didn't really go very well. Now, I love to shoot cats. I was actually the first one to get a kill in this match. I changed targets because there's a lot of people over there, and I was going to go after this P-51, but then I realized I would have blown a lot of altitude, so I just keep heading this way. And then that F-82 nearly got me there, but I pulled up instead, and he just barely missed me. I was going to dive on him, but he kept diving there, so I didn't want to blow my altitude. And now I see this develop over here. I see a 2-on-1, and I see that P-47. Now, I was thinking that A7M, yeah, he gets him, the P-47, and then it's a 2-on-2, and I'm like, well, you know what? I think I'm going to go after this F-82 and all these low planes. But I don't know, just something in me was telling me that I needed to head back east and give those two some help. I just wasn't very confident in our A7M's ability. And then all of a sudden a Spitfire adds to the mix. Or wait, he may have already been there, I'm not sure. I know that F4U really was worrying me. And then here comes Katz, and I didn't know that he had some tails, but they were pursuing him. So I just leave them be, and they're working on that. And then the 190 ends up going back over there too. So I was even more happy that I came this way. Now, the A7M takes considerable damage from the Spit here. I didn't realize that at the time, but and the 109 is doing a pretty good job. Now, the A7M does die, and we get into this engagement, and I'm lining up both of them. So they're both trying to go after Cats, and I'm not sure which one to go for. I decided to go for the high one and the Spitfire. I get some hits. Nothing real good. Again, more blown opportunities. Now, I knew this guy was going to be right on my tail. And that was fine because Katz turned right back in and was able to line up some shots on him. And the F4U clips me, but nothing major. But I lost the Spitfire. And then they pretty much are both on my tail. But look at this excellent turn time. I was basically trying to turn in the horizontal, or in the vertical, to gather speed. And then I turn the horizontal to cut speed. And then Katz manages to take out the F4U. And then the Spit tries to go after Katz, and I turn the vertical and use my flaps a little bit to tighten the turn. And then I pull in right behind the Spitfire, which is tunneled on the 109. And doesn't have the kind of dive speed to keep up with him. And then I basically just lob some shots because I'm wanting to distract him, thinking maybe he'll turn. Then look at that. and cats pulled him up right in front of my guns, and it was so beautiful. And I end up getting the kill. No, I was pretty pleased at this point. And he thanks me in chat, and likewise I thank him. I was overheating, so I basically cut the engine down to nothing to cool it off. And Cats was going back. I still had plenty of ammo, so I started heading this way, but the P-47 ends up dying pretty quickly here, so... And plus it's a 3-on-1. And there's one more left. I didn't see it yet, but he is over there. And then they got the P-47 just like that. Probably head on that 190 or the KI-84. Either way, that is a bad decision for him. And I started thinking, I bet he's toward his runway because he didn't have very many points, whoever was left. So I turn around and I start heading toward the runway. And I decided to use a blind hunt because I don't know, I just don't use them a whole lot, and I kind of felt like I could use the extra XP if I could get to them in time, and I had plenty of ammo, and most everybody was going back, so... Which may have been a bad idea, because if he... I mean, I was pretty much overconfident at this point. But it turns out to work out. And I've learned a lot recently. You don't want to head on with F-82s, no matter what, no matter how confident you are. You do not do it. I don't know how many times I've died trying to do that, just trying to get a quick shot in. And truth is that you're just not going to survive. Right? They just have too big of a burst mass, and everybody runs gun pods on them, so I don't think I've seen a stock one in a long time. Chances are if they're flying it there with the gun pods, and they will rip you to shreds. So the reason I say that is because the last guy, after I clicked the blind hunt, he is in an F-82, and he will be over here to the left when I do see him. Me and Cats were busy patting each other on the back because, you know, you don't always find good teamwork like that. You can't really count on people in randoms anymore. Not like you used to. German teams used to be really good about that, but it has definitely not been the case lately. I think mainly because they got more American planes that everybody's grinding. Most of the good pilots have went to them or got tired of War Thunder in general. Now, I should have seen him earlier because I seen him right here, but there's the F-82. I don't know what he was doing back there. He's not even up very high. I don't know what he was doing. I guess enjoying the pretty scenery, because it is a beautiful match. Twilight or something. And so Eshak, he's gonna go head on, and I'm like, no, don't go head on. He's like, I'm going head on. I'm like, no, that is a bad idea, because he'll kill them, and then they'll come right after me and try to shoot me. And that's exactly what he does. He goes head on. He makes the first few shots, but then he just gets taken out. Just blown away. And then he comes to try to get me. And look how early he's opening up. And I'm like, nope. And I lucked out because I swooped out of the way. And look at this great turning. He's way too fast for me. I just do a quick barrel roll, lag this, and I took him out. And that was it. So I just watch him go into the drink because he was on fire. And nice clean kill. Not too big of a deal. Really enjoyed this match, and not too big of a score or anything, but I wanted to feature this one because it was a good example of teamwork, and you don't see that a whole lot. So I also noticed this was Reef, which is I think that's the clan that Soaring Thunder's in. That was even cooler. Okay, I'll show the upgrades real quick. See, I've got the 20s, airframe, wings, about to get the engine, radiator, fuselage, and I've got universal belts on both. And it's a pretty effective aircraft. I really enjoyed this one. The tree, I've got everything aced except for this D4 Y3 up until 5.0. And oh yeah, I also got a ace this one, I forgot. I didn't buy this for a long time because I thought it was a clone. I didn't realize that it had an extra 13mm in the nose. But I kind of hated the A6M5 when I was playing it. I don't know. I just felt like it was over tiered. I don't think I was very good with it though. And I was also playing in arcade. So when I spaded it, I wasn't very happy. I didn't want to buy that one. I just recently bought it because it's another, like in simulator, it's 5.0. And the 5.0 planes in simulator are ones that you can spam out. So it wouldn't be too hard to spade it because I'd have plenty of chances basically trying to grind RP to fly out higher ranked planes. Because that's the way it works in Enduring Confrontation, is you have to do so well in another plane, in a lower ranked plane, to earn the spawn points to be able to take out something like the 6.0 or the 6.3s. Which I haven't bought these yet. The sales are coming on at the end of the month, so I'm basically holding out. I'm probably going to save up and keep saving and then buy the P-51H and this one and maybe even this one. That's foregoing these because I got so many planes here I bought but I haven't spaded yet. Like the J2M3, J7W1, these N1K2s. I've got to spade both of those. I mean, I've the KI-83. I'll have the KI-109 soon. The KI-84. This also, I mean, I've got tons to spade. Still got this to spade. I've still got this to spade. So I'm not exactly in any hurry to get those other ones yet. Okay, well, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the replay, and thanks for watching.